lot of the clients that I've dealt with come from homes very divided. It's a big problem, in particular in our neighborhoods, our urban neighborhoods. And there are many things that do divide us. I'm not trying to be a proponent of the divisiveness. I'm trying to help find ways that we can come back together and find ways to love each other. Love Lockdown, as the name implies, is about women in relationships with incarcerated men. It's intimate relationships, but also let me also say, I interviewed over a series of 4 years, I interviewed 22 women. Some of them actually came to my shop and we talked. Others I met on the bus. I love riding city bus. You know how to ride a city bus? You can meet some interesting people on the bus. Sometimes I was a half an hour late getting to work, talking to somebody, just riding around on the bus. But did a lot of my research there, but met a lot of interesting people with very interesting stories. Some of them were, like I said, intimate relationships with men who were locked up. Some of them were mothers that had sons locked up. Some of them were young women who had never met their fathers because they had been incarcerated most of their lives, so on and so forth. In little bits and pieces, I put all of those relationships in this book. It was supposed to have been an editorial piece, but a lot of the women did not want me to use their names in too many details that would identify them. So I created a composite character. Her name is Regina Jackson. And I've been told is a lot like myself. But the whole book didn't know I was Regina Jackson. But she hopefully is big enough to remind, to resemble a little bit everybody in this room. Okay? She's a woman who knows that she wants to be loved. She's made some mistakes, like we all have, even though we may not want to admit it. But she's trying to get back on track and try to do the right thing and live her life in a way she can be proud of. She's a mother, a single parent. She has 2 children, a boy and a girl. And she's worked really hard. Now, I need to say this too, even though I'm talking about incarceration in a big social way, we think of incarceration as being a problem that just happens in lower income urban families. No. Some of the women that I interviewed for this book, most of them were middle class women. That means they make more than $35,000 a year. Some of them had, one of them in particular had an income that was in the 6 digits. It happens. It's an affair of the heart. Okay? So I didn't want to make Regina the typical stereotypical welfare mother who's dating someone in jail. She has a great job, a marvelous career. She's a curator for an art gallery in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. She makes mad money. She wears wonderful clothes. She has this man on her job that just adores her, but he's distant. She's trying to get the relationship started, and sometimes he's in, and sometimes he's not. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Sometimes he's invested, and sometimes, she's not sure, that sort of kind of thing. So anyway, that's who she is, and that's who we are. And come on in. I'm going to start. Have a seat or get something very informal. I'm going to read half of the prologue, and then I'm going to go right into the first few pages of the first chapter. Okay? The book starts out as a letter, and it says, "From the desk of Regina Jackson, researcher and curator of African American art, Marathi Foundation of Fine Art." That's where she works. "On the real, this is what we are dealing with, and this is why I did what I did. It might help explain it, how I got so caught up in all of this." some profanity. I thought children couldn't read profanity. This book got some sex in it too, John. Just a little bit though. I was surprised, because I wanted to write something that my mother would be proud of, and my sons could walk around the city and still say, that's my mama. So it doesn't have a lot, and it does talk about some adult issues, and some things just can't